Hi everyone, my name is Fred from HilliansBricks, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about different ways you can earn money with Lego. So you may have seen lots of articles in the news recently where it says Lego is making more money than gold, is a better investment than this, massive returns. Now, the first thing I want to say, yes, you can make money with Lego, but you need to do a lot of work, a lot of research, and it's not as easy as what you might think. It's not a quick rich scheme by any means, so I just want to put that out there. So I'm not a financial advisor, I just want to share my opinion on this. But yeah, you will have seen there's loads of articles about this, and the thing you got to understand with these articles is that they're referring to sets probably from like 5 or 10 years ago when Lego was not as popular as now. So they were mass producing some of those sets, and they pick the cream of the sets to compare. These are the ones that have done so well. Let me tell you, if people, if they did the same analysis for some Lego Movie 2 sets and did that, then that article would not be making the news, for example. So those are sensational articles. And yes, if you know what you're doing, you can make money with Lego. But the market has changed a lot. There's a lot more people into it now. So I think over time we'll see it still being attractive, but maybe less attractive than what it has been in the past. But who knows, right? So I'm going to be talking about 4 different ways of making money with Lego and giving my opinion in terms of the cons and the pros for each one of them. And there may be many more, but these are the ones I think, 4 key ones that I think a lot of people are using out. I'm not doing them all myself, but I'm going to go through them because I know people do these ones, right? So the first one I want to talk about is flipping sets. So what does flipping sets actually mean? So it's basically when you flip something, it's basically you buy something quickly and you just flip it around again for you sell it at a higher price quite quickly. Usually when people do this, they do it on platforms like Facebook Marketplace or eBay. So the positive thing, like the pro for this, is that basically you can get a quick return on investment if things sell. You don't need much time to invest in this. You don't need a lot of space to store anything. So from that aspect, it's quite good. And this typically gets done a lot of the times with some gift with purchases, but people say we got a gift with purchase, let's just get rid of it. Let's not hold on to it for a long time. So that's what typically gets done with those. But yeah, it could be done with any Lego set that's popular or nearly out of stock as well. The downside with flipping Lego strategy is the fact that it's quite a high risk strategy, right? Because typically when people flip Lego, it's usually new sets where people anticipate that are going to be sold out on Lego, that are going to be in high demand, and they hope that then they can flip it quite quickly at profits. Examples are the recent UCS 8080, the Titanic set. Those are the sort of thing, maybe the boutique hotel. But if Lego has their production planning quite right and they don't sell out, then you're not going to see those premium prices you can command on sites like eBay. So for me, that's a high risk strategy, and I don't tend to flip sets a lot. I've tried it with some of the smaller ones, but I have kind of a backup plan, which I'm coming to later in this video. But so you may end up holding a lot of these sets for quite a while if your strategy doesn't work for flipping sets. So that's the downside for the strategy, because your cash is going to be tied up if you do this and it doesn't sell. And maybe if you just only in the strategy of flipping sets, you might just want to get rid of it and maybe even at a loss. So and when you sell on places like eBay, it's going to have some higher fees as well that you have to take into consideration, and shipping, so, and things like that. So you might see the higher prices, but that doesn't always mean more profit for whoever sells it. So the fees will take a big chunk out of any potential profit as well when you flip sets. So it's, yeah, for me it's too high risk strategy to kind of fully go into flipping Lego. So it's one that I kind of dabbled in and tried it, but it's not something that's my main core of terms of activity. And also you're not going to be very popular on Lego forums or anything if you're known to be like a scalper, what they call. So yeah, it's people don't like those sort of people. A second way that you can make money with Lego, it's probably less popular, but I do know some people that do it, is people who go and buy used Lego sets from, all sorts of places like even eBay, Facebook Marketplace, but also from relatives or friends that they know that are looking to get rid of some Lego, or, car boot sales and things like that, where people just find Lego at a good deal, people want to get rid of it. So the benefit of this is that you actually can find some really good deals. You can find some rare gems and things that are, you know, been in someone's loft for years, and you know, someone who just wants to get rid of, and you get a great deal. And therefore you can make some great return on investments this way. Problem is that it's not always that easy to find. And if you're someone that enjoys building Lego, you will always get to build the Lego set as well, because it's used parts as well. You might as well just build it, because that kind of also brings it down to the negative side. You always have to check if the set is complete if you want to sell it on. So and how do you check if it's complete? Either A, you can get the parts list and check all the parts, or what most people probably will do is build all the parts, build all the pieces into a Lego set and see if it's complete or not, and identify which pieces are missing. So that comes to the next part. You have to source any missing part as well from Bricklink. So depending on how many are missing, that can be, you know, added cost that you need to take into consideration without eating into your profitability. And the sourcing of it can be quite difficult. You know, you're not always sure if you're going to find a deal. And maybe if you see something on eBay that you like, it's more than likely going to be some auction or something, and you get outbid on it, you'll just get some frustration as well. So yes, it is something that I haven't done, and it's not something I'm planning on doing, because it just takes too much time as well. And it's not only about just, you know, when you got to build the Lego, most of the times you will have to break down the Lego again and sell in the parts, and certain colors like reddish brown then might break as well. So take into consideration that you might have to order even more parts. So for me, it's one of the things that I don't do, but I do know that there's people out there who do enjoy this sort of thing, because it gets them to build some Lego and then sell it and potentially make some profit. But let me know in the comment section if any of you out there do this, and if you enjoy doing this, and if it's something that makes you a good return on investment. Now the third one I want to do is one that I actually do. So I'm in my own store here. So it is selling a new and used parts on Bricklink or Brick Owl. So these are platforms where you can sell individual Lego parts. And yes, it's something that I've been doing for nearly 2 years. It'll be 2 years later this year. So what are the benefits of running a Bricklink store? Well, you get pretty much almost instant cash flow, right? Because when you part out sets and you add them to your store, depending on what sort of pieces you have, people will start to buy orders, start to place orders, and you start to generate some cash flow. You also get to learn a lot about Lego. You get to learn about all the colors, all the different parts that go in Lego sets, and yeah, you're very much involved into Lego down to the detail. It's a fun hobby. That's you know, I see this as a hobby, running a Bricklink store. And it's got decent profitability once you reach a certain scale. Now the downside is you have to reach that certain scale before you get that profitability. You also often find that depending on the set you buy, you can just sell off some of the minifigures and it kind of recovers the money of the set. But that's not always the case, depending on the theme very much and whether the minifigures are unique. And another beauty of this is that you're not going to be paranoid about the condition of the boxes that your shipment comes in, right? Because if you're a Bricklink store seller, you just want to open those boxes and just add the parts, and you only care about whether the parts are there and if the parts are in good condition. The boxes, unless you also sell the boxes, I personally don't. Then if you might care more about the boxes if you also sell the boxes. But yeah, that's all the positive thing. The downside of running a Bricklink store. Right, let me start. It takes a lot of time. So most of my Lego here is new Lego, which takes less time. If you use used Lego, it takes a long time to, you got to identify all the bricks, you got to identify the colors, and it takes a long time to upload everything like that. It's a very manual job. But the rewards are there. It usually tends to be more profitable as well. But is it worth it in the time? I would say not so much from my perspective. In your situation, it might be different. You also have some setup costs that you need to take into consideration. I've got some other videos in terms of top 10 tips in terms of setting up a Bricklink store and things like that, so you might want to check that out. But yeah, just to summarize quickly, you know, you need drawers, you need storage, you need some scales, you need postage equipment, things like that. You all need that. There's a lot to learn, and I still learn every day. And I said I've nearly been doing this for 2 years. Lego is forever evolving. There's so many parts. You know, there's like 70,000 parts of Lego. That's just a guess. I think it might be even more. And you also need to constantly look out for deals to find out, you know, the right sets to keep buying, to keep replenishing your Lego. And it's not just about having a good part out value, it's to really understand what sort of Lego sells and what colors sell, what don't sell, and just you'll end up with stuff that eventually might never sell. That's another downside of it. So you will have parts here. I'm pretty sure I have parts here since I've started my Lego bricklaying store from the beginning, nearly 2 years ago, and there'll be parts here that I've never sold. That's the other downside of it. So you always have parts that are very slow movers. And Bricklink has become a lot more popular as well over time. So there's a lot more competition out there, and yes, there has been an increase in demand, but it's probably a lot more supply increase versus demand increase. So there are more people out there, and you'll find that the bigger stores tend to possibly do better because they have more lots, and that means that they usually drive more sales. So if you're quite new into it, it might take you a while to become profitable, because the one thing you'll want to do is to grow to get to a certain scale. But yes, for me, space is my constraint mainly. So I wish I could even grow bigger. I got a backlog of Lego sets to part out, but space is my concern. But yeah, overall, I do enjoy the bricklaying thing, but do I think you can make serious money on it? I personally don't think so, at least not enough from my perspective to you know, give it my day job. I see this as a hobby. If you want to make decent money with it, you need to go much larger scale than here. And I'm at 300,000 pieces, 330,000 pieces more or less. For me, I need to go, you know, 1 million or above. And clearly that's not going to happen in this space. But yeah, that's option number 3. So let's go to option number 4, which is probably quite popular with many people, and why you might want to have watched out this video. And it's investing in Lego, and this is what a lot of the articles talk about. You know, when they come back to the beginning of the video, talk about all the better than gold and everything. Yes, it can be a very profitable strategy on many of the sets. In fact, I would say most of the sets. But you got to do a lot of your due diligence, your research, understand what sells well, what doesn't sell well, what's likely to appreciate. And what I always say, you got to buy at the right price. If you buy at the right price, then it's very difficult to lose money with Lego, at least currently. At least, well, that's my view. Who knows, things might change with the economy, but the way it's been going, if you buy at great discount and great promotions, then you should be okay. The beauty of investing in Lego sets is you don't have to do much work, right? You buy the Lego set, you just find it a great deal, you store it for X amount period of time, and then when it's ready to be sold, you just ship it, and that's it. Adios. Now, the downside of this is, you need to keep the boxes in good condition, so you're going to be worried about the boxes, how they come in. So especially if you buy from online retailers, you're always going to have concerns about the condition of the box. You're also very much dependent on Lego on when they are going to retire sets, because a lot of the sets, they don't tend to appreciate in value unless they retired. The only times they might appreciate in value is when they're out of stock on Lego and they're very difficult to find. And that's when people mostly tend to flip the set. So coming back to the earlier strategy, you'll more likely also need some sort of storage solution, either internal or external. But yeah, that can be costly as well. I've got an external storage solution, so I do invest in Lego. I've started that journey about 15 months ago, so I'm still in the process of learning everything. But I do believe in the long-term success of it. So I'm kind of learning what sells well, what doesn't sell well, and I'm pretty sure I made a lot of mistakes along the way. But if you want to follow my investment portfolio videos, you can see what sort of things that I invest in. And yeah, I openly admit which sets I think were okay and which ones were not so good. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, go check that out. So, but yeah, you also need a lot of research and time to put into and learn from your mistakes, and it's discipline, right? You don't want to just necessarily buy for the sake of buying when you think, oh, this is okay, I'll just buy this. Because people who bought lots of Lego Movie 2, for example, they'll probably wish they'd done more research as well. So that's the downside. But it always comes down, similar to like with investing and flipping, what's your backup strategy? What if the set doesn't go well? Like, what if it doesn't increase in value? Or will you be able to sell it and even recover your money? Or is the price just shot to pieces, just gone down? So you might have to hold it for a long time. Or in my case, I've got a backup strategy, and that's then my bricklaying store. So I kind of keep an eye out for sets that also have a decent part out value, where I'm not so sure. There are certain themes where I don't necessarily go down that strategy, but then I'm more certain that they will do well over time. So those are all the sorts of things that you have to take into consideration. So to summarize today's video, yes, you can make money with Lego, but it's not an easy thing to do. You need to do your own research. You need to spend a lot of time into it, and you really got to be into it from my perspective. If you just see this as some quick thing, I just want to try it out, I'm going to make some money, and then it's going to be easy, I don't think this is for you, because the one thing I haven't talked about on the negative side as well is people might always paint a picture of how nice it is to sell all the Lego and how easy it is to make money. Make no mistake here. There's also things that you got to deal with. Is like people want to return Lego. They want to, they complain about missing delivery. There's something issue with the post. And a lot of the times it's beyond your own control. But you got to deal with it. You got to manage it. So you have to have some sort of level of customer service that you need to keep up. And that's a lot of the times people don't speak about that, and it's something that's very important to keep your reputation, because I think a lot of people, when they buy on places like eBay and things like that, they check out your rating, and if you've got a poor rating or negative reviews, people are more likely to focus on the one negative review than the 300 positive reviews you've had. So you just got to manage that as well, that aspect. So I just wanted to put that out there. So yes, if you're very much into Lego and you want to try it, it can be fun, but it can absorb a lot of your time, I will tell you that. So, but yeah, for me personally, I love it. I've loved Lego forever since I was a kid. Got back into it 2 years ago now as a bricklaying store owner, and also started to go on the investment journey. And my kids love Lego, so it's pretty much a family pastime. But yeah, that's it for this video right now. So I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.